What up? What up? What's happening? I gotta get up here, chop it up with y'all, man. See if y'all saw this fight. See if y'all saw this fight, man. It was a good one. It was definitely a good one. Alexander Usyk retains his strap. Usyk keeps his belt by decision. It was pretty dope. It was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? AJ had his moments, but Usyk made the adjustments. He got his work in. Joshua tried to come back late. Usyk made some adjustments and got it in late, man. Joshua's legs gave out on, I think, that 10th, 11th, and 12th round, man, and he won't the same, man. Let's see, we got my dog. I got. I'm gonna let y'all talk, champ. You gotta send the request too, man, champ. I gotta know what you think about that fight that just. My brother.
I know you didn't think Joshua was gonna win that fight, right?
No, I didn't. However, I was impressed with the game plan that he had, bro. I was definitely impressed because there were moments that he tried to fight like the bigger man. He put pressure on Usyk. He was going to the body.
Yeah.
And there was a moment, I want to say in like round 9, where he put about a 3 or 4 punch combination to Usyk's belly, and Usyk clinched him. And you could see like he had like a little wince. He had like a little wince on his face, so it was getting to him. So Joshua had a game plan. He had, you could tell, but Usyk is just, what I mean, he's just difficult to figure out, bro. He moves too much. He does a lot. He don't hit you with no powerful punches, but he just touches you, enough to annoy you. And next thing you know, he's at another angle. And that's what ended up happening as the fight went on.
He's a real boxer. Joshua isn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Joshua is a physical specimen.
hmm
Like when I seen him get knocked out by what was the Mexican nigga that dropped him?
Ruiz,
Yeah.
Andy Ruiz.
Like
hmm
I realized right then, bro, like you just out here just bigger than everybody.
Yeah,
Same thing with Wilder.
yeah.
Like it ain't no
hmm
different. Like y'all niggas heavyweights. Ideally, heavyweights. We've never seen a heavyweight really be a boxer outside of Tyson. Tyson came in there boxing. Like he gonna throw the jab.
Holyfield,
Yeah,
Holyfield too.
Holyfield too.
Holyfield. Yep.
No,
hmm
I can't say that because Lennox Lewis was a boxer.
Lennox Lewis too. Yep,
Yeah, he
yep.
was a
Riddick
boxer.
Bowe was a boxer too. Riddick Bowe was a
Yeah,
boxer.
yeah. But
So there's
ideally,
a couple of them.
when we speak about heavyweights, they don't box. They just want to throw punches, and it's like, bro,
Right.
like that's not boxing.
hmm
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I think Joshua just goes in there. I feel like Joshua was like the high school kid that walked in and you were just a physical specimen, and the football coach seen you was like, yo, you got to play football.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like, no, like, bro,
yeah.
this ain't for you, bro. Like,
Yeah. He
you got all the belts because heavyweight was
mhm.
weak for a long time, and it's still weak
Mhm.
for real.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, like, we don't even know who really runs the heavyweight division.
Yeah, because they talking about Fury retired now.
Yeah,
So
so
if that is the situation, who's up? Like who's the guy at this point? It's got to be Usyk now.
now it is Usyk, but is
Yep.
anybody checking for heavyweight?
No.
Exactly. So
Mm-mm.
everybody's waiting for one fight, so it doesn't really matter about that part. Like, so at the same time, those weight divisions, welterweight, junior welterweight, and what lightweight?
Lightweight.
Lightweight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But like those are the divisions that everybody are worried about because it's multiple fighters.
Correct.
We don't. It ain't like when we grew up. Like heavyweight division was the heavyweight division. When we grew up, Sweepy was running the welterweight division. Like nobody went to see that shit. We watched it because that's the hometown hero.
Absolutely.
But welterweight won't like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. That was heavyweight. That was the heavyweight time frame. That's when you
exactly.
talk about Tyson
Tyson,
and
Vander,
Holyfield and all
Lennox
them.
Lewis, Riddick
Yep.
Bowe. Like,
Yep.
and then before that was middleweight with Marvin Hagler. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Middleweight was the
Yep.
one. You know what I'm saying? So
hmm
it's just about a change in the dynamics of what division are we actually looking at? And right
Hmm.
now we're looking at smaller fighters.
Yeah, because it goes back to what you said, bro. Like, you want to see the best fight the best at the end of the day. And if you were to draw up your top 10 pound for pound fighters in boxing right now, a lot of those fighters are going to fall within that 147, 140, 135 weight
Yeah.
class.
Like
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
everybody want to see Big Charlo fight Benavidez. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
all right.
Or if Charlo or if Big Charlo fight what you call it? Canelo. Because I really don't like this Canelo Triple G fight again.
Nah, me either. Me either.
Like
I
I
feel like
don't
it's a
like
cash
that.
grab. Nah, I feel like it's a cash grab. But let me ask you this, dog. I'm glad that you brought up Big Charlo because I don't know if I talked to you about him, dog. Like, are you frustrated with his situation? Because like me personally, I talked to somebody about this, and like the thing is with him, you see the talent there. You know what I'm saying? As a fan, you're like, this dude has the ability to be special. I want to see it. Who on his resume have we been able to see him showcase the ability that we believe that he has? Because you need another special fighter sometimes in order to bring that out of you.
All right, so Pete.
And
I'm gonna tell you like this, right? I'm gonna tell you where Big Charlo got an issue. Big Charlo issue is the fact of he cannot fight in the same weight division as his twin. And right now his twin is in the best division.
150, his little brother's in the 154.
Yeah.
154.
So well, I'm talking about when I say Big Charlo, I'm talking about weight wise. Like that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
160.
You know what I'm saying? So the little Charlo has better opportunities because he can go from 154 to 147 easily.
Yes.
But I also got all the belts here. So I'm chilling. Big Charlo can the only people that fight there is Canelo, Triple G, or Benavidez. If they don't
Well,
want to
now,
fight, what you gonna do? He still got to get a check. He still got a family. You know what I'm saying?
Caleb Plant's in that situation too. You know what I mean? He may not be somebody that people are like, oh snap, but if you were to say a Charlo Caleb Plant fight was made, is made, people be like, all right, I can rock with that.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see that.
I'll watch it. I think Charlo would do him so bad, it'll be stupid. But see now, if I go into my manager mind as a boxer, I would tell him to fight Caleb Plant just to beat him up more than Canelo did, so it brings up attention because that's low key what Bud's been doing. Bud now been ringing because after Errol beats the nigga up, he go beat the nigga up. They say Bud beat him up worse. And it's like, bro, he took the belt from that nigga. Like Bud fought the nigga for no reason. Like what
Just
you
to make
get
a
from him?
statement, like you said, bro. Yeah. Just to have the conversation, like Sean Porter, for example. They
Sean
both
Porter
fought
don't
him
count
just
because
so.
Sean Porter is Bud's friend. Their dads are friends. They trained together their whole life. He's biased, and that's what people don't understand. But
See,
nor here
I didn't
nor
know that
there.
because they asked him. He was like, "Yo, yeah." But I mean, it's one of those fights, man. That I'm not like I want to see it, but I'm not checking every minute because like I want, but like it's frustrating every moment that you go by and it's not official
Yeah,
yet
like I
because it's like it's
keep
close,
getting
it's
words
close.
like, yo, it's just one thing waiting. It's like, bro, like just give me like, because I'm ready to buy my fucking
Just,
ticket.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's
I'm
like
going to be
I think
there.
yeah, I think
I
they
don't give
probably
a
need to
fuck
have
how
it in
much it is.
Vegas,
I
bro.
will go broke. I will take out a loan. Like, no, I'm going to
I don't
get
blame you.
like
Yeah, because no, that's our Hagler Hearns. As far as I'm concerned, that's our mega fight. Like, if you were to
yeah.
ask boxing fan, what's the number one fight you want to see? I would say probably about 90% of them. That fight is going to be at the top of the list. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of them ones. I'm waiting for it, man. My opinion constantly changes, honestly, on who I think will win because I know Spence brings nothing but pressure, but I know, dog, Crawford hits harder than people think he does. Let's just keep it being, dog. Crawford hits harder than what people think he does, and he makes the adjustments. I'm not saying that Errol can't make the adjustments. He hasn't had to yet. He hasn't been in a situation where he's been forced to make those adjustments. So now when you got somebody that hits hard and makes adjustment, what happens now? Do you make those adjustments, or is it like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like what do I do now? I haven't been put in this situation. So what happens now? So that's kind of a question that you got to ask yourself. Go ahead, my man. My son is up in this joint too. What up, son?
Let me tell you,
Hopefully I'll see you later, man.
I'm gonna tell you something. This is gonna be the issue. Crawford usually confuses regular fighters up by going southpaw. He better not go southpaw with Errol Spence.
Uh-huh.
Because that not your. He makes that weakness towards. You can't make that a weakness towards Errol Spence. And on top, like I keep telling people, this is just these are Errol Spence walks around 185.
So what now? You were breaking up.
Errol Spence walks around at 185.
Yeah, he a big boy. He a big boy. He a big boy.
Like that's his
Yeah.
regular weight.
Yep.
So you gotta imagine Crawford he's coming up to the weight class.
Yep.
Like I said, like I'm not sitting here knocking Bud. Bud is a great fighter. I just personally like Errol better. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and say Bud can't win. But it's some people that be out here like, yo, Bud, like Errol can't beat him. I'm like, bro, like y'all are fucking tripping.
You know, you got some people that just say anything. They just want to hear themselves talk, or they just say certain things just to get a reaction, just to see what people are going to say, even though they don't even believe it themselves. They're just going to say it just to see what people say. And that's one of them statements. Like, you can't look at that fight and say it's an easy win for either one of them, to be honest
Somebody
with you.
gonna win, but I don't know how the fuck it's gonna happen. Like, hey, I got my money on. I do got my money on Errol, but I'm not gonna sit and say if I lose that
It's a shock.
It's not gonna be a shocker if either one of them win.
Yep.
This is definitely
I agree.
a trilogy. Because
it's money.
Whoever loses is getting a rematch.
Yeah, I can see that, because I mean, there's money out there, bro. There's money out there.
If they fight each other, who else they gonna fight? Because neither one of them are going to fight Boots. They're not going to fight.
You know what I'm saying?
They're not going to fight Boots. Because if you want
they might have to.
If you want me to be honest, I feel like Boots is better prepared to beat Errol than Bud is.
Oh, that's how you feel?
Boots is really.
That's how you feel?
Boots is really.
I know that. No, I know. I trust me. He's my favorite prospect in all of boxing right now. So I don't take nothing away from Boots. The only issue I got right now is his level of competition. That's it.
But you gotta go into them ranks. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't start the first fights and get a belt. Like, no.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, when we talk about beating somebody that's like in the top 3, top 5 pound for pound, I gotta see something on your resume to help support that. So if I say you can beat somebody who's like Errol Spence, who's top 1, 2 pound for pound, or Terrence Crawford, who's top 2, 3 pound for pound, I gotta see something on your resume.
Like
it's like,
pound for pound list. They keep putting Terrence up there at number 1, and I just don't understand it.
It's all opinion.
It's opinion, and I think that it's what you're trying to push. Like,
yeah.
You got Errol damn near 7. Like, how? Like,
yeah. A lot of people are left off.
And although
like
I don't like Shakur Stevenson, but you gotta put him up there. The nigga got all the belts, man.
Man, speaking of favorite prospect,
he did prove something to me. He did prove something last fight.
He one of them ones now, bro. He up there. He's in the pound for pound. He one of them ones. I think he beats all them guys, bro.
He can talk all the shit he wants to, because at the end of the day, I got every single belt in this division. Like, he can really tell people to suck my dick. Like, I'm cool.
He can. Yeah, he legitimately can. And it goes back to what we were saying, bro. He's got all the belts in the division that people were checking for. People are like, yo, look at all the names. So you got all the belts in a deep division. So you can pop off a little bit more just for that.
And a deep division where he keeps saying, I will fight you niggas. And you niggas don't want to fight me.
Yeah. I believe him. I believe him,
Like
dog. I definitely
I
believe him.
believe him. The only reason I believe him is because when he called niggas out, them niggas get quiet.
That's
Like,
what I say.
like T.O. ain't say nothing. Javante
Dog,
ain't say nothing.
Oscar Valdez said he had to take the fight because people were pulling up on him in Mexico and was like, yo, when you gonna fight him? When you
Like,
gonna fight
you
him?
got
So at
to.
that some point he was like, yo, I gotta fight this dude now. But he knew what he was running
And the
into.
boy
It's
went out the
like,
country to fight you in your country.
yeah, confidence, bro.
And did you
Devin
bad?
Haney, that Devin Haney, man. That's that Devin Haney energy, bro. We got to give this man his respect. Why do
No,
people
like,
not give Danny his respect, bro?
no, I get
Why
it.
why don't people
I
do that?
finally, I'm sorry, I switched up names. It was Devin Haney that made me respect him. He went out the country
Mhm.
and did what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
I do like
yeah.
Shakur Stevenson. He got to prove a little bit more to me, but Devin Haney did exactly what I wanted him to do. Listen, niggas, I'm calling everybody out. You niggas don't want to fight me, calling me a boxer, and I ain't knocking nobody out, but I'm winning the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So beat me,
Mm-hmm.
nigga.
Yep. And so it's like, all right, so at 140, if you had to pick somebody to possibly be a threat to Devin Haney at 140, who's that guy? Is it Ryan Garcia? Is it Teofimo Lopez? Because there's two new additions up in that weight class now.
Well,
Is it
Ryan keep
Josh Taylor?
calling out Tank. Ryan want Tank bad.
That's we talked about that,
Yeah.
and I think it's a possibility if he keeps Tank on the end of them punches. 5'11"
No,
versus 5'5", brother.
I do believe Tank will lose the fight if Ryan does keep him on the outside. But if
Mm-hmm.
Tank gets inside, man, because we already seen
It's over.
Ryan drop, but
Ryan don't move
We
his
ain't
head.
seen Ryan drop from a Tank punch.
Right.
A
He don't
Tank
move his
punch is
head.
a
He comes
different
straight
drop.
back. Exactly. And he comes straight back, bro. That's the only thing. And you know, Tank sometimes he drop his head and throw that
Yeah,
loop in. You know what I'm saying? So if he catch Ryan with one of them on the chin,
Ryan going to
Ryan's
sleep.
going out. Dog.
Ryan's going to
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah, yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
crap. So, 140.
Mm-hmm.
I think to me, I would like T.O. more than Ryan because Ryan fights conservative like he does. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it'll be a boring ass fight. They're going to keep throwing jabs and they're just going to stay on the outside the whole time, just trying to throw jabs.
Yeah.
T.O.
So what you
T.O. ain't going to give a fuck. At some point in that fight, T.O. going to say, fuck this. I'm getting up in here. So somebody's going to
absolutely.
have to get hit.
Definitely. Oh, we got my man Shane that's about to tap in real quick before I ask Shane too, man. He hit me up. And Tito Trinidad's nephew, I believe, and Anthony Sims Jr., we gonna get them on the channel, you know what I'm saying, being able to chop it up with us. So we gonna get Shane in here and talk some boxing with us, man. We gonna talk about this fight that just went down, this whole
I
140
cannot believe
situation,
Joshua.
147.
Anthony Joshua should retire.
Shane, what's going on, my brother?
What's good, bro?
I'm hanging in there,
Shane,
man,
what's
hanging
going
in there.
on, man?
What's good, bro? How you doing? What's your name?
Giovanni,
Divine man, nice to meet you. I'm Shane.
nice to meet you
That's
as well,
that's
man.
my homeboy from back home. And we got one more that's getting ready to tap in, dog. We
Anthony
got former
Joshua
world
should
champ Jesse
retire.
James Lehouse.
Anthony Joshua
Uh,
should retire.
champ,
Yeah.
what's up,
What's going
baby?
on, brother? I'm sorry, man. I had some company here, and I had to, say bye to them when they were leaving. We watched the fights, and what a fight! What a great fight!
It was a good fight, champ. What do you think about the fight as a whole, man? What do you think about Joshua's game plan and what Usyk was able to do?
Uh, here's the thing, though. It's really tough to attack a guy that moves really well, because he's going to pick
Mm-hmm.
you apart coming in and giving you angles, and you're kind of a sitting duck when you do that. It was working for him at first, but once you got into a groove and started moving really well, he was picking them apart just walking in,
Yeah,
and that's
the
what's hard.
footwork,
Think of this. Yeah, it's always footwork. Think of trying to attack Lomachenko. That's what was happening. He looked just like Lomachenko in there with his movements, giving him angles. And after he got warmed up after the fifth or sixth round, he was picking them apart, and it's hard to do that. Sometimes you got to let them come at you, and you try to pick them apart, and work your speed and not just so much power. I mean, the body shots were great and all that, but one's not enough. Maybe he was just trying to land that one punch, but you gotta change your game plan. If you're getting picked apart walking in. Was try backing up and try your jab and keep him on the outside. Why was he attacking the smaller guy? Let the small guy come to you and pick him apart with a jab.
Exactly.
You become the
Mm-hmm.
boxer. You be the boxer. Don't let the little guy outbox you.
Let me ask you a question, right? Because when I train my boxers, I always tell them, they always come to me the first day, first week. They always be like, "I never throw punches." I'm like, "No, we got to work on footwork. That's the first thing."
Yeah.
Because if everybody, I always tell people, everybody got hands, everybody ain't got a chin.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the bottom line to it. The game is to hit and not get hit.
And not get it. Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So when I was watching the fight, I'm like, all right, but I'm not a Joshua fan anyway, because I felt like me and Sean was talking about before you got on, heavyweight division has always been physical specimen over boxing.
Yeah.
And now, like when Tyson came in, and I told people with the Wilder fight, I was like, yo, Tyson gonna beat him because he knows how to box better than him.
Yep.
He knows how to pick his shots. And Wilder never fought a taller person. So with Joshua, it was always like when they told me Joshua wanted to fight Tyson Fury, I was like, look, Tyson Fury would do him so bad.
Yeah.
like it was going to be a really embarrassment if Tyson Fury fought Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Shane. Oh yeah, I was about to say, Shane, what'd you think about the fight, man? How'd you feel?
Joshua didn't counter to the body enough, because when Usyk comes in, he comes in high, and he was landing high, and Joshua would just shell up. And if he would actually just counter to the body in some way, it was there the whole time. And he didn't start doing it until about round 9 when he had that really good round. But then, I mean, he gassed.
It's hard to counter to the body when you have a guy throwing at your head too, though.
Yeah, I got to protect
And
myself.
he's fast, you know. So
Yeah.
he didn't want to take those chances of getting hit to the head by dropping his hands going to the body. Usyk's just he's like Lomachenko. He's clever. He's fast. He was throwing 4 or 5 punch combinations just to hit the guy, not even to hurt him. He was just saying, "I don't want to hit you. I don't want to hurt you."
That's
And
what I told
it
somebody.
seemed like
That's what I told somebody at the bar. We was watching the fight. They was like, "Yo, he hit him all the time." It's like, no, he threw a 4 punch combination and only 1 punch hit. But that's the punch I wanted to hit.
yeah,
right.
Yeah, because
Like-
the other punches were kind of just to keep Joshua from throwing back. Because if you throw at Joshua, he won't throw back.
I
Yeah.
need you to put your
Exactly
hands
what
up.
you do.
And like you said, he gets
Bingo.
the scale. Like that's the thing with Joshua that I don't like. Like you so much of a physical specimen, but you let smaller people really run up on you, and you just go here, and it's like, bro, like you can't even see where they're coming from.
So
That's what Shakur Stevenson was saying too. He was like, "Yo, you're the bigger guy. You gotta be there, and then you gotta be the bigger guy. You gotta fight like the bigger guy. You know what I mean? You gotta, exert your dominance, pretty much."
So let me tell you what I think too, though. Here and this is you tell me your opinion. Robert Garcia is a great trainer, and I'm not sure who was really training him. He had both guys there, right? That Steven guy and Robert Garcia. But I think him, he went to Ronnie Shields at first. I think that would have been the better trainer for him, because what do Robert Garcia's fighters do? What do they all do? They all come at you.
Yeah,
They all come at, put pressure on you, and that's the worst thing to do when you have a
They
boxer
always
like
fight
that.
forward.
Yeah, and when you have a boxer like that, that wasn't the game. At least I thought the game plan should be you box and move, get out, do a little bit of punches, move your legs, have them come at you, give them some angles, but not just walk them down. That's what Robert Garcia. I mean, he's a great trainer. We all know that, but it's just the fighter and the fights and who you're fighting against. You don't walk down a boxer. You're gonna get beat up. You're
gonna get beat up every time.
Yeah, and that's
Let me ask y'all this: Is Anthony Joshua's physique a problem at all? With the amount of muscle that he carries around?
I don't think his physique is the problem. I think it's the fact of his trainers and him. I ain't gonna say his trainers. I think his ego gets involved, and he just thinks that I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I can win this fight, like doing just me.
Yeah.
But he's
him.
not a boxer.
Yeah.
I think he just thinks too much too. Like it's like you said, how Usyk will throw a 4 punch combo and want to throw one. AJ wants to land one. AJ wants to land every punch he throws, and he sits and waits until he thinks he has that opportunity.
And AJ jab is
that's a
fucking
good point.
horrible.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
His jab is horrible.
At first his jab was actually pretty good when he was keeping.
It was okay for a little bit, yeah.
But he got away from it. Because he's
Yeah,
not
he
used to
stopped.
throwing it.
Yeah,
That was the
you're right.
problem. That
You're
was the
right.
problem.
I heard from a friend that he was having so much trouble jabbing that he said I couldn't believe he couldn't jab well. And
If
then
you
in this
can't
fight,
jab,
he
you can't
started
win a
off
fight.
jabbing. He started off jabbing well, and then after that, he got away from it because Usyk was making him pay for missing the jab with the right hand hook, right hand to the body, right uppercut. He was making him pay for
Because
those.
all it takes is a wrong jab and a hook to come over that jab, and
Yeah,
nigga, it
Mm-hmm.
might be game time.
but
Yeah, yeah,
I
because
mean,
the depth.
Joshua just put up. He still put up a great fight, one of his best fights in a while. Just that Usyk was just moving around way too much for him, tired him out towards the end, and picked him apart in the last 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm. So we just got a comment that dropped in. I'm gonna let y'all boys. Answer. Steve, well, Champ, I'm gonna start with you. They said, is Anthony Joshua done?
No, he's. Not, I don't. As far as winning a world title, he's not going to beat Fury. He's not going to beat Usyk. Um, he's going to still make money and maybe challenge some other guys, but he's a great fighter. You're going to have to find someone that can move like those two guys, Usyk and Fury. If not, he beats them.
Okay. All right. What you got for me, big dog? You think he's done, Shane?
I mean, not physically. I don't know. Like, who's he gonna fight again? Like Parker or
That's my
Dylan
next
White?
question. Yep.
Yeah, like nobody. I mean, the young guys, ESPN got all of them with like Jared Anderson and Frank Sanchez. But I don't know. I don't know who we would fight to keep busy, or would be enough money for someone like him what he's accustomed to making. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, I don't. Is he entering? Like, I hate to bring in the other sport, but it's like Conor McGregor territory, bro. Like, we might only see him fight once a year now, and he's not going to be like physically. He's still got all the tools, but like I don't know how much he really cares anymore. You know, to be honest.
He don't need to fight anymore. What do
All
he make
right,
for this one?
y'all
What do he
sure,
make for this
y'all
one?
sure
80 or
covered it.
something?
Y'all sure covered it.
I know what he gonna say.
The
Say
issue,
it, man.
the problem is, yes, yes. I'm agreeing with y'all. He's not done fighting, but is
Mhm.
he done being
Champion
Josh?
or
The
champion?
answer is yes. He's not getting another pay-per-view fight
And not unless he
unless
fights
they
Wilder
run
or
this
something.
Usyk fight back, which that won't even on pay-per-view for real. So
Hey, can we
like,
say
what?
can we
Who is
say
he going?
Usyk Joshua Fury now?
But before
Mhm. I
y'all
think
got
so.
on, like I told Sean,
Mhm.
I believe it ain't even about Joshua, it ain't about Usyk, it ain't about Tyson, it ain't about Wilder. The issue is the heavyweight class is done. Nobody's spending that money on pay-per-view for a heavyweight fight no more.
There's some young ones, but they're
They
like going
gotta
back
come
to what
up.
me and you were talking about. Yeah, like if you look at 135, 140, 147 weight classes, there's multiple people in that weight class that you
Everybody
can put
want to see
together and
those
have big
fights.
fights. Yeah.
No,
Right now,
that's
right
the only
now,
reason
yeah.
I say Joshua. I'm not saying Joshua's done fighting. No, he's gonna fight. It's gonna be on ESPN. We're gonna see that for free. But when
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about the Gervontas, the Shakir Stevensons, Devin Haney's, the Keyshawn even, or we can go Errol, Bud, that whole
Mm-hmm.
class,
Yeah.
Boots, all that class. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's checking for heavyweight no more.
Mm-hmm.
That middle
So
that
let me.
middle ground, that's
Uh-huh.
the pay-per-views. Floyd Mayweather ain't got no heavyweight on his team.
So who do you put so if he's not done fighting, which I agree with you all, I don't think he's done fighting. Who do you put him in the ring with? Because Shane was kind of leaning
Put him in the
towards that. He's
ring.
like,
Put
yo,
him
who
in
does
the
he
ring with
fight?
himself and learn how to jab, and then just watch the other fights, man. Like,
Who y'all got? Is there anybody out there, maybe like a Robert Helenius? Because I think Wilder beats Helenius. Do y'all think maybe Joshua versus Helenius would be something that can maybe get his confidence back?
It all depends what Helenius do against Wilder. To be honest, that Wilder Joshua fight's probably
Yeah.
easier to make now than it ever has
Wilder and
been.
Joshua fight sounds right. It sounds good now, right?
Wilder Joshua
The
probably
winner
would be
continues. The winner
his best
continues. The losers are
because
retired.
that would
Mm-hmm.
probably be his only way of getting back on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that'll probably be a check for him. Because Wilder coming back and not fighting Tyson is gonna bring people.
Mm-hmm.
And
It could be like
everybody
Yeah.
want to see
WWE.
Joshua fight
It could
him.
be like WWE wrestling match. The winner leaves home or leaves the town and retires.
Yeah, like you gotta. Whoever loses gotta retire.
The Undertaker.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. Like, I'm thinking that he could maybe get the, depending on that Hellenius and Wilder fight, he can kind of check into that and see what's going on with them. But I think even Wilder might be dangerous for him.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like if he
I got
constantly
Wild.
loses his
I got
head,
Wilder dropping.
okay,
I
but
got Wilder dropping Joshua early too.
yeah, I think that with Wilder's right hand, man, and like one knock on Joshua is people say that he'll move his head for a little bit, but he'll get away from it. And that's the wrong brother that you want to get away from moving your head, even for a split second, because Wilder may not be the best boxer, but I think we all can agree that power in that right hand
It's different.
is it's different. It's one of the best
It's
in
one of the best
probably
we seen.
boxing history.
Hey,
It's one.
why
Yeah.
not? Why not Usyk and Joshua again? Why not? You have Canelo, Triple G 3. Then Usyk
Nobody
and
cares
Joshua fight
about
again.
Canelo Triple G3.
And I'm going to the
Yeah,
fight though, but
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
yeah,
But
of course.
god
So you
damn,
care
like
then.
Jesus
You're gonna spend your money on it, right? But you don't care.
Hey Champ, let me ask you something real quick. What's going on with the WBC? Because I know there's the app and everything, and I've got some people that's asked me some questions in the inbox. So what's the update that's going on with the WBC and the free box and
So,
everything you guys are working
so
on?
the first one that we're doing here in San Antonio was scheduled for September 5th, but we went ahead and pushed it back probably the second week of October just to get our ducks in a row and to make sure it's done right. Um, it's just what's going to happen is WBC. We're going to start promoting fights, and it's going to be free TV. We're going to build up fighters, not under the umbrella of WBC, but the fighters can do whatever they want, obviously. But it's their channel. Um, but it's for anybody, any promoter, any promoter wants to come and enter the fights and join to put their fighters in the card. It's free. We're gonna have an app. You watch the fights and you get to see it all over the world. And what we're gonna do is have a tournament here in the United States, and in Europe they're gonna do a tournament. So the winner from the United States will fight the winner from Europe or the winner from Mexico, and it's gonna be engaging because we get to see fighters grow. Can you can you imagine this? Just say I'm just saying me for instance. Say I'm fighting and I'm 2-0, 3-0, and I entered this tournament with this WBC app, this fighting, and I start winning. But I'm gonna have a following because it's free. Everybody gets to see me.
yeah.
And not
Yep.
only that, we're gonna have cameras in most of the gyms where people are like, if I'm fighting, they start filming me. They start filming my background. You see me at the house, you see me running, you see me at the gym. You engage me, and we become more. You become. There's more of a connection now. Hey man, that guy's just like me, man. He's having trouble like me. He can't pay his bills right now, just like I can't. So there's a connection there. So it's more of a fan base type where it's free, right? The app, so you get to see the guys training.
I'm about to say
Because
y'all gonna be streaming it.
yeah, everything's gonna be streaming. Everything's gonna be
Yeah.
free, and then you see a fighter grow. And you get to see him in every one of his fights, and you see a fighters grow. And then after a while, they become champions and they start fighting each other, and it's free. And now you have.
Mhm.
So what's this gonna do is probably put pressure on the zones and all these other things about
Yeah.
being free as well. Because if we build it up so big, remember the WBC has millions and millions of followers and all over the world. And now they're all watching this app and they don't have to pay for it. What's that going to do with the other TV zones uh, that charge you to watch boxing?
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
going to
Hey
change
Champ,
the way we watch boxing.
And
Champ, let me
it
ask you
does
this
that
question,
thing.
right? Even with the WBC, WBA, everything, how do you feel about so many belts being in one division? You got a franchise champion, you got a regular champion, then you got the WBC champion. It's like, who is the champion?
So we all know who the world champions are, right? We know that. We don't have to worry about which belt it is. We know who has a real belt and who's a real champion. But the only thing I do like about more belts is, back it's not the old days anymore. You cannot just have one belt where only one fighter is making money. Now
Yeah.
you give the opportunity for other fighters to make money and the contenders to make money, and just instead of just one guy. There's too many fighters for one champion.
So
Then
can you
we get
explain to me
bored. I'm sorry.
the difference of franchise and regular?
Well, franchise boxers is maybe it would be a franchise fighter with champion would be more of the guy that's your stable, your main guy that you have, who would be your quarterback, right?
Okay.
For the weight class or for the organization. That's your quarterback. That's the one you're betting all your money on. That's your Mike Tyson. That's your Evander Holyfield. That's your Pernell Whitaker. Those are those guys who are going to carry the torch for you. These are our franchise, quarterbacks. And then you have your champions under them that are doing the same, but they're not your franchise guy.
So do you think that, like, say for instance WBC, do you see the franchise and the regular champion fighting each other?
I would think that should happen. I would think the franchise let the regular champion become that franchise champion by beating him, and why not? That's how I
Yeah, I
would
mean
do it.
that's where my confusion gets, because I always see like the asterisk on ESPN. This is the regular champion. This is the franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's confusing.
it's
You
confusing.
know what I'm saying?
Confusing.
Like, yo, who the fuck is who?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
god damn.
It would think about this. Think about like a football team signing a franchise quarterback. That's your main quarterback. That's your thing. That's your bread and butter. You have other quarterbacks in your team, but that's your quarterback. Right?
Yeah, it's frustrating. Like, so, like, if you're introducing the sport of boxing to somebody, you see Javante walk out with a belt. You're like, oh man, that's cool. And then you see somebody in the same weight class walk
The
out with the
same belt.
same belt.
Yeah.
People are like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. I thought he had the belt. Who's the
When's
champion? Like he was saying.
they should call it super champion and then just champion, right?
Yeah, it's confusing, man. We had an interesting comment, and I wanna touch on that. Shane, I want to get your opinion first, big dog.
Okay.
Somebody asked, where does Floyd Mayweather rank on your pound for pound list?
Ever?
Well, we're
Ever?
gonna
Yeah.
go with Shane first, but yes, ever. So think about where he ranks ever. And Shane, I wanna hear what you guys say first, dog.
No, I'm weird when it comes to pound for pound. I don't do it like a 1 through 10 list. I think it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
silly. But I do
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
tiers. Kind of like
Mm-hmm.
like people who always argue like LeBron and MJ. Like you're really like if you really think about it, you're really splitting hairs between two of the best ever. So it's like, but
Right.
they're on the same tier. So that's kind of I
Right.
put Floyd in the highest tier possible, but I don't think he's like the only one that deserves to be there. If that makes any sense.
That absolutely makes sense, and I absolutely agree with everything that you said. A lot of times, those pound for pound lists, they're biased based on what
Yeah, because they got
people
blood
like.
over arrow, and that's why they biased.
Well, all right, hey, Giovanni, where you got Floyd on your list?
I'm
Is he like top tier, like Shane said, or do you have him like I got him number one kind of thing? Like how are you how do you have it
I
laid out?
don't have them number one. And the only reason I'm not knocking Floyd. I do got Floyd as my top 5 pound for pound, because I can't take nothing away from the man. Like, that's just the bottom line to it. But at the same time, I was raised with Sweet Pea. Like, of course, like Sweet Pea Junior is my dog. Like, rest his
Yep.
soul. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm. And we
I
were
sit,
raised with people like Champ down here too,
yeah, like, but
watching
you
his
gotta
fights.
imagine. I watch Chet because I'm just excited to be on the live with him. But anyway, um, I
Appreciate
my boxing watching was different. I watched the best fight the best.
Mhm.
I watched Floyd duck a lot of smoke until he was ready to get the smoke. He
Mhm.
fought Pacquiao when
Okay.
he wanted to. He didn't want to see that Pacquiao when he was supposed to. And that's where my knock for Floyd is. But I do got Floyd top 5. I don't got number 1, because you got to imagine, like, what we seen. Like, although Roy Jones went out bad, I seen Roy Jones do some wild shit in that ring. I seen
He
Mike
was a showman.
Tyson. Like, we was paying for
Hmm.
pay-per-view to see 30 seconds of a fight. Like
Yep.
real shit. Like, we were paying
Yep.
$99 and everybody was
Hmm.
sitting in the same house to watch 30 seconds of a fight.
If you got up to use the bathroom, you probably
The
missed the
fight over.
fight. You know what I mean?
have to hold it.
It was one of the things. Like my uncle stopped buying pay-per-view because of Mike Tyson, because he got the Tyson Spinks fight, and Tyson just completely decapitated Spinks, and my uncle was like, "Yo, I'm done buying Tyson pay-per-view.
But
Like it's a waste of money."
I didn't
but
want
it
Tyson.
made sense though. I mean, but that's like, it's easy to ask us. Like, don't get it twisted. Like I said, I don't take nothing away from Floyd. I do think Floyd is probably one of, if not the best technical fighters I've seen in my life. I do
I'll
believe
give you that.
Floyd, to me,
Yeah.
because I'm biased, I believe Floyd to
Mhm.
me is Pernell Jr., but that's just me. Because I never seen personally, I never seen a defensive fighter, you know what I'm saying, until Sweet Pea really got involved. It was
Yep.
always because Hagler Hearns was just punching. Sweet Pea
Mm-hmm.
was on some don't touch me.
You gotta look at
Yeah.
Orlando Canizales. Look up Orlando Canizales. He was Lomachenko before Lomachenko was born.
Okay. What
Yeah,
year
Oh,
is
yeah.
that?
I'm gonna
Orlando.
definitely check. And Champ, where do you have Floyd? Like, because your opinion is cool because
He
you're
was in
giving
the
it
ring.
from a fighter standpoint. He's giving it from a fighter standpoint. We're giving it from like somebody that's watched it over years. He's somebody that's been in the ring. So Champ, with his Hall of Fame career, he can give that Hall of Fame input. So Champ, as far as Floyd Mayweather, how do you feel about him?
Well, I mean, great guy, great fighter, great everything, but um, there's two different levels. I think so. Here's what I thought of just a while ago when you guys started bringing this up. Okay, Jennifer Lopez, great singer, Hall of Famer, whatever you think, right? Or Whitney Houston.
I gotta take
Well,
Whitney, but
I'm biased.
Right?
I'm biased.
Jennifer Lopez is not.
Whitney sung the national anthem better than
right.
anybody in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. But Jennifer Lopez is not a great singer, is she? Have you ever heard her live?
Yeah,
Okay, she's not
I
good.
heard she's
but she's
bad.
still Hall
And
of Fame.
she's right. So
Uh-huh.
Mayweather, more of an entertainer. No, Mayweather's more of the record, the wins, everything else. But the entertainer would be Sugar Ray Leonard. The entertainer would be Marvin Hagler. The entertainer would be Canelo. Those are the entertainers. You know, uh,
Hmm.
Floyd is the Whitney Houston, the great clean singer. Everything has the records, everything, right? That's how I see it.
Hmm.
That's the difference. Is Floyd has the record, has everything else. It may not be exciting to everyone. I like it because I love the art. It's an art of
Hmm.
not
Yeah,
everyone appreciates art.
I think like
To hit,
saying,
to hit and not get hit is the art, and that's tough. And people see that boring. Oh man, he's not getting hit. He moves around a lot. No, he's boxing. It's called boxing. It's not called slugging. It's called boxing.
but the
That's
thing
what's so
is,
great about Jerron Ennis because he's such a great boxer, but he's so entertaining to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah. And people may not like that. The true
Y'all
fan,
talk.
I mean, I guess a true boxing fan would love that. But there's fans that just want to see blood and guts.
but I think
So let me
we're
ask you. Go ahead.
I think we're outnumbered when it comes to boxing fans towards people that just people go to racetracks to see the crash. They don't give a damn how you
Yeah,
drive.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, right.
people
Yeah.
watch boxing to see somebody get knocked the
But there
hell
are
out.
no, there's some guys that I know that friend. They say, "Oh man, I just love to see the race, guys." Whatever. They don't. They want to see the technique of it. They want to see the art
Yeah,
of the race. They don't
but
care
they're
about
outnumbered. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's outnumbered because America, especially, we're just here for
yeah.
bullshit.
So
Like
let me tell you something real quick. Okay, let me tell you. I could be at a fight, right? I could be at a fight, watching a fight, and it's a great fight. A fight comes out on the audience. There's a fight out on the audience. Everyone stares to see the fight. I'm like, what are you
Yeah.
guys doing? You pay money for these guys that are pros and champions that are fight. Two bums that are fighting that don't even know how to throw a punch. You're watching that. That's their entertainment. That's the car crash thing that we're all looking at, which is
yeah,
crazy.
Yep.
I'm like, why would you waste your time watching that? These guys that never trained a day in their life and they're fighting.
but
And you're
Sean,
watching
Bro,
that.
people pay
Sean,
to
that's why.
watch that rough and rowdy shit on Barstool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
but you
Facts.
watch
gotta
that.
imagine.
Yeah,
Facts.
watch
You gotta
that.
imagine
Yeah.
where we are. You gotta imagine where we are as a sport with boxing. Jake
That's what
Paul is
happens.
making more money than real
Oh my
boxers.
God.
Who is?
Jake Paul
That's
Jake
is making
Paul.
more
boxing's
money
fault,
than
though.
real boxers,
But
and
that's
Yeah.
he's a
boxing's fault,
fucking
though.
clown.
Yeah. I mean, he has a little talent, right? He can fight a little bit. He can throw a punch,
No,
but he
he's
hasn't
decent.
fought anyone. But he hasn't fought anyone that can slip punches and pay him
Yeah,
back and make him miss and make him pay, and then he'll
you
stop.
fought.
He'll
You
stop
fought
throwing
Nate
punches.
Robinson, bro. Like
Come
nobody,
on.
nobody cares.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But
he's making the money.
I just
That's
think
a
like
circus.
Sean, your
That's a
question is
circus, man.
difficult.
It's a circus sometimes.
Sean,
Hmm.
your question is difficult because us four we know boxing. We'll
Hey,
talk
let me
about
tell you something
boxing.
real quick, because I know you're a
We
Fernando
Hmm.
understand.
Whitaker fan. I used to spar with him all the time. I learned so much from Fernando Whitaker, man, sparring with him, and we had some great times. We used to do, even during our sprints and our training with Ronnie Shields. You know, our sprint work was going past patterns. One was a receiver, one was a defender, and we just go back and forth. Those were our sprints for the day. It was so much fun, and he was
Carmen
so
Cintron
cool.
told me about that.
We did all kinds of stuff, man. But it was so much fun. Those were our sprints, man. We would always like who caught more touchdowns or who didn't, or we would
Oh
bet
yeah,
on a
because
couple of
I
bucks.
know I know my Uncle Pete, he was talking shit. He gonna talk shit.
Oh yeah, all the time, all the time. We had some stories about it, but he was a cool guy, man. Cool
No,
guy.
rest his soul, but I like on some real, like that's why like my boxing acumen, like he would always talk boxing. Like he would just be like angles, angles, angles,
Yeah.
angles. Like it ain't about winning the fight. Like that's all it's about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
until he met Tito, which that hurt my soul, but whatever. And he got cheated versus Oscar De La Hoya, and I feel like we all can agree to that. But
Yeah.
Agreed. I agree
Yeah.
with you on that. Yep.
Yeah.
but Pete was just a different class. Like he just had something that he knew something that other people just did not know.
Yeah.
Mhm. What up, Joe? By the way, go ahead. My bad. Joe left a comment. Gotta say what up to Joe. Gotta
What's
say
up,
what up.
Joe?
Let me
What's
let me
up,
ask
Joe?
you this. Let me ask y'all this, because Shane brought up a name that Giovanni, that me and you were talking about, Jerron Boots Ennis, right? He's at the
That's my
cusp.
dog.
He's at a point where now, like, it's got to be an important fight for him now. There's no going back. So Shane, I'm gonna start with you. 147 is stacked right now, my brother. It's one of the most stacked divisions in all of boxing. If you the matchmaker, who do you put Boots Ennis in the ring with now?
Stanionis for the WBA regular.
I heard that name a lot. With Crawford and Spence being tied up, that's probably your next best option. Him or maybe Keith Thurman.
Yeah, but Keith Thurman's gonna demand a lot of money for that fight too.
I heard
Like,
10 million.
yeah, Keith Thurman say he want to fight everybody, but they won't fight him, and then you find out he's asking for like 10, 12 million. But I could see him getting like I think the Stanionis fight makes the most sense. He's fought on PBC a bunch of times. He's got a regular title, so that's a free belt to get boots pretty much.
What's the champion that Oscar has at 147? What's that guy's name?
Virgil
Bentley
Ortiz.
Davis. Who is it?
Virgil Ortiz.
Orchard. Yeah. Throw him in that mix, right? But he's too young.
Ooh.
Yeah. No,
That's
that's a good
I
fight,
think
but I think
yeah.
Oscar's not keen on throwing any like if you
Oscar's
look at
hiding
all of them, all of his big
his
guys,
fighters. Just say it. Just say it, Shane.
I know
Oscar's
it.
hiding
yeah,
his fighters.
Yeah.
Munguia ain't
He
fighting
needs them.
nobody.
He needs to put fights on TV. Who else is
Yeah,
gonna bring? That's why he needs those
yeah.
guys. He's not gonna fight them.
Munguia don't
Oscar's
fight
not gonna
nobody.
put none of his
Garcia don't
fighters in
fight
front of
nobody.
Boots.
Big Charlo don't fight nobody.
That's why
You know what I
Ryan's not
mean?
gonna
Love him
fight.
to
That's why
death, but
Ryan's not gonna take that chance and fight any great fighter right now. That's what I feel. They're gonna hold Ryan on for a couple of more
Oh,
fights, I think.
Ryan is being hidden. He keep calling that Boots shit out, or I mean, Javante shit out, but
It's
he
it
called out
sounds good on
Teofimo
Oscar.
paper.
Lopez too. Yeah, he's called out a bunch of people. He's called out Devin Haney. He's called
But
out a whole bunch of
I
people. So
got,
at some
and
point, it's like, you
like
got to fight
Sean,
me.
It
like we
sounds good
said,
though. It sounds
I
good.
got Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia can beat Tank if he keeps his distance. Now that's
That's a
the if.
big if.
That's a big if.
Yeah. And what
Because if he
happens?
doesn't,
Champ,
What
he
Champ,
happens?
you
dies
got
What
pretty much.
happens? Remember,
Champ. Who you got?
he
Who
got
you got? You
dropped.
got
He got
Garcia
dropped
or
real
Tank?
bad by Campbell, right? By Luke Campbell. What's his name?
Luke Campbell with
Yeah, he
the
dropped
left, I
him
want to say
bad,
the
and
looping
he's
left.
not even. Yeah, if that was Tank hitting him, he wouldn't have
No,
got up.
Sean. What we say before he
Yeah,
got up there?
but
I
Mario
said
did
he
keep
got dropped
Javante
before,
at a
and that
distance
was not a
though.
Tank
Hold on,
punch.
what you
Because
say?
that
What you
Tank
say,
punch
Shane?
is gonna put him to sleep.
My
Hold on,
my
what you say,
boy
Shane?
Mario, shout out to
Mm.
Mario Barrios, a friend of mine. He did a really good job keeping Davis at a distance with long punches,
Yeah.
but also he threw in good volume too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
He
yeah.
had a lot of success against Gervonta, but I think it's close. I mean, I know like Joey Barrero, the guy that I'm setting you up to interview with, Tito's
Mm-hmm.
nephew. He sparred both of them. He's like, yeah. He said Gervonta's the only guy that's ever dropped him. He's like, but Ryan, like, his timing's
Control the
better. Like, his
situation.
speed is so much better than his
Yeah,
timing, but his
he has
timing's
fast left hook.
yeah, his left hook, and he
His
throws it
speed.
straight right like a jab.
But I'm telling you, if you take that hook away from Ryan, he doesn't have much. If you take that hook away
I
from him,
think
he does not have
The hook
much.
is what he wants.
I think Ryan gets away with a lot because his hands are so fast.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
So he can do a lot of stuff that you're not supposed to do, but his hands are so fast that he can make up for some of the mistakes that he does in the ring. You know what I mean?
But
he has that range.
sometimes that hook becoming a little too wide for me, and
Yeah,
all it takes is 1 second.
yeah,
And
That's all it
if
takes.
Tank
Yep.
touch him, Ryan ain't getting up. Because I seen him
Nah.
get dropped, and then you came back and you won that fight. But that was not a Tank punch.
Yep.
He also doesn't establish outside the foot on the outside
Yeah, the
against
leverage.
southpaws either. Yeah, when he fights southpaw, he leaves his lead foot on the inside, and like that's
Inside.
one of the
Yep.
reasons he was lined up for that straight left because he
Mm-hmm.
kept his foot on the inside.
Yep. I absolutely agree, fellas. I definitely appreciate. I do got to run because
Yeah, I do
I'm
too.
getting ready to do this whole daddy
Yeah,
thing. You know what
much
I'm saying?
love.
So
Hey,
I got
hey,
to tap into daddy
I
mode.
just wanna send my love to you, champ. I appreciate just having the opportunity to speak with a real
Oh
boxer
man,
that was really
it
built
was
for
my
it.
pleasure, man. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, and hopefully we
It's
do this again. And everybody's back on.
Sean,
Yeah,
next
it's great
Sunday,
meeting
College
you.
Park Day, we outside.
know that, man. Know that,
Oh no,
Shane. I
I'm
definitely
gonna be in
appreciate you. You know
Cabo
what I'm
next week.
talking.
I'll be in Cabo next Sunday. Sorry, we're leaving.
Oh, you
I'm
be
on
in
vacation,
Cabo?
man. I'm finally getting a vacation. I worked too hard, so we're finally taking a vacation, and then we're
Enjoy
gonna
your
go to.
vacation.
Yeah, I
Enjoy it.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, and then
Thanks.
Absolutely.
I'm bringing my podcast back. I'm in between houses now, but I got interviews lined up with like Andre Durrell. I got Nate Boyer coming on. That's actually the Green Beret who talked to
Mhm.
Colin Kaepernick about kneeling for the national
Oh wow,
anthem rather than sitting.
wow,
Yeah,
Wow.
I got some cool stuff coming out.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
But tap in, man. Let me know what's going on, and whatever any of y'all got going on, let me know. Send me the information, then I'll share it. You know what I'm saying? It may not be much, but anything I can do to help out, y'all know y'all boys got my support. I definitely appreciate y'all tapping in with me, and let's do this again, y'all.
Hey
Let's do
man,
this
Sure.
again when we can.
much
Thanks,
love,
guys.
everybody.
For
Take care,
sure.
man.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate y'all boys. Oh, Ellie setback was just. What up, Ellie?